Shalom.
Shalom.
This is a Wednesday evening.
Yes. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome into our home tonight. Welcome. This is a Wednesday night. Go ahead, Josh.
We do thank and praise the Most High. Ahayah. Bahashem, Yashayah, Kudash. As we have been on the last 5 years now, hopefully we'll have another year to say 6 years next February.
And hopefully with that year, right, Josh, we'll come in. I'm not interrupting my son. That's how we do here. And I hope you understand that. That's okay. And because there's so much in our spirit that we've learned and that we want to, throw out to you. That, I hope we grow, right, too, Josh, within that year, that we grow stronger in the Most High and in the wisdom and the knowledge of the Most High.
So, as the many topics we broke down according to Scripture, precept upon precept,
line upon line.
One of the most important scripture, one of the more enlightening topics we've discussed is marriage. We've come to teach and understand that the understanding of a marriage and a wedding is completely different than what we have been conditioned or brought up in this society to believe. You don't hear the terminologies like dating or relationships in the Bible. I mean, you don't hear those terms.
That's right.
Those are American terms. You hear the term marriage or union, or the idea of that alluded to in the Bible, or betrothal.
Josh is absolutely right. If we don't get away from tradition and know our
because
history,
that conditions your mind as young men to think differently and approach women differently. When you understand that what a marriage is and what weddings are, and we got another good chapter to break down tonight, but I feel like this is because we really haven't brought this out yet. Our opinion, we brought it up, but I just want to touch on this again because we haven't touched on the subject.
Are you going to bring a whole message?
No, I'm just going to touch on it for a brief moment.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Again, this is one of our study resources. The Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Open that up. Yeah. And Josh is also saying this, that where in the Word does it say that a preacher has to marry you? Or a rabbi or a minister? There's nowhere. There's nowhere in the Word. So let me read something to you about marriage. So you understand. And listen, folks, this might sound like a little raw, but it's the truth. The Christian church wants to control you. So they'll tell you, most pastors will tell you that marriage is right. They're right. It's sacred between two people, but it's a sexual relationship between two. You're not supposed to tell your people, you're only supposed to go to bed and have children. And that's not a marriage. That's control. The Catholic Church teaches that. Get married and just have children. And they use the word, multiply the earth, fill the earth. Yeah, but that draws you away from an intimacy with your wife. A true intimacy. Okay. I hope I said that right. Marriage is an intimate, personal union.
Not legal union, personal union.
Personal union to which a man and woman consent, consummated, and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse.
So, according to the traditions of the Israelites, they viewed sexual intercourse as the entrance into marriage, not a honeymoon or not a wedding ceremony. That is, even in the Bible, and I want to bring this out, to bring this about properly understanding your role as a man and a woman.
Wedding. Let's go further. Wedding, marriage, customs in the Bible center around the whole ministry. The two events of betrothal and wedding. The wedding itself did not include.
The wedding
itself. The wedding itself. Come on, Josh. Did not include. Listen, that's how we do here. A lot of ministries do this. If you're just going to read over words like a lot of Christians are doing, you're never going to know nothing.
The wedding
itself did not include a religious ceremony.
So, representation had nothing to do.
Come on.
And as if we keep reading, we understand. Let me see.
No, go ahead, Josh.
That the bridegroom would leave the house of his house. Now that's another different thing that we don't see. Back in the Bible days, men were grown up much differently than they are grown up today. They were much more independent.
They were men already at 14, 15, right?
12.
Well, the women, yeah, but that's right. They were much more mature, much more, I don't want to use the word religion. We don't use the word religion in this ministry.
Spiritual. They understood their roles already at 12 and 13 years old. A man was expected at a young age to have a wife. A man at a young age was expected to provide and have his own house. He was already expected to operate as an adult at 13 years old, because that's when the society in those times saw them as men. So from birth to 12 years old, they lived at the house. They learned how to work from their parents. Their parents helped them build their own house. When they turned into man, they moved out. Then when they found the woman they were interested in, the parents of the man would go to the parents of the young woman in question, and they would discuss how to go about this the betrothal. Now, how does this usually work today? How does
totally different from the scripture?
This works today more or less, where the two people meet, then they drag the family into it, where the family pretty much has to support what they want to happen.
That's right, without really getting their consent. This was the right way, the biblical way, but they don't do that today. Go ahead, Josh.
Now, what happens now, when a young lady brings a man to the father, automatically that father is going to feel like he has to accept that person to make the girl feel happy.
Yeah, that's good.
So he can't really tell the girl that you shouldn't be with this person, although he may feel like that. But to make her happy, he's going to allow it.
Right.
Now, herein lies a couple issues with the whole dating and recreational dating scene. When you use the term date and you hear that word as a parent, that is a very dangerous word, because if you have a daughter and she is comely, very comely, very beautiful, and she is desirable to men, you don't want a man that is going to want to date her. You want a man that is going to want to marry her, because when you are dealing with a man that is interested in dating and dating only, what that means is he's only interested in getting sex out of that woman.
That's right.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
When you deal with a man that is only interested in dating,
good, Josh.
That man is only interested in doing one thing, is getting sex from your daughter. And that is why a lot of women do not bring want their boyfriends to talk to the man, because they know if their father has any sense, he's going to run that boy out. Because men, when you bring a man home to another man, that man already knows what you want.
That's right.
And the sad thing about women, a lot of women, they don't ask men the right questions. What are your goals? What are your true purpose, reason you want to be with me? Because I'm not just looking for someone to date. I'm looking for someone who will provide and I can live with. If women say that, a lot of guys won't even bother with you, because they don't have that goal. They have the goal of trying to get in your panties, and that's it.
This is because
and brag about it.
This is because of this false teaching in the Christian church, and plus the
way the society is programmed. The programming of the society is so against true marriage.
That's in the church.
Yet they show you that when people sleep together, they start building relationship. They show you what marriage is, but they make it where it's all about the pursuit of sex. So men aren't men at the age when they should be. You should already know as a man, when you approach a woman, right? You should already have your goals in your mind of what you want to do.
More, Josh, this way. Yeah, come into the scene more, Josh.
You should already know what your goals are as a man towards that lady. Your goal should not only be to date her. Now, of course, if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. But if this person, these two people like each other, and you've been seeing each other, hanging out, at least talking to a degree, you should know your goals,
intentions,
your intentions. Your intention should be to this woman is like, you should say, look, I'm interested in you, I like you, and furthermore, I would like to marry you. I would like to start a life with you. I would like to provide for you.
Awesome.
When women hear that, it's a very good thing for them to hear, because that's what they want from. They don't want just to date you. They don't want to be like an accessory,
right?
Because dating today is like you're just an add-on. You're not viewed as important, because if you're dating somebody, more than likely that man is only trying to sleep with you. He has no intentions of marrying you. He has no intentions of family. He has no intentions of starting a home, because those things are not part of his mindset. His mindset is geared completely opposite of how a man should think. Now, in America, that's the way. In other countries, that's not the way it is. In other countries, it's the same way, as men are grown up from a young age to work. And at young ages, 14, 15 years old in other countries, people have families. And in other countries, young women aren't held to an age where they can marry. A lot of times in other countries, you have a 14, 15-year-old girl that's married to a 25, 23-year-old man. And that's normal because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Even a little older too, Josh.
That's the way the Bible says it's supposed to be. It's perfectly all right, according to the Bible, for a older man to marry. You shouldn't really necessarily want your daughter messing around with these young boys. You want your daughter messing around or interested in older men. You should raise your daughter to be interested in older men.
This is why I truly believe why we have the mess we have in this country. And it's sad to say it's in a lot of religious churches, it really is. But, you know, saying that, you know, we just wanted to throw some things out there today and, you know, just get that a little clarity on it.
Again, weddings were not religious ceremonies considered as religious, meaning that weddings had no legal precedence. Or religious figures had no legal precedence at a wedding. In other words, you didn't see rabbis, pastors, elders of the city. You didn't see any person with religious authority because that had nothing to do with weddings. That is a completely Americanized tradition where you see a religious or a pastor.
That's right. Because
they made it where, in America, they made a law where after the Civil War, that you had to go through them to be married legally, or you were in fornication. When you can't have a marriage without intercourse. Marriage in the Bible is sexual intercourse.
And we just read it to you.
Now, of course, you have to be able to provide, take care of,
right,
and further, you know, do this other things. But pretty much, marriage in the Bible deals with a woman that is a virgin, or a woman that has never been touched with a man, being with a man, and they want to be with each other. He's in a position where he can provide for her or do his best to. And they come together and they sleep together. He takes her virginity. She bleeds. And they are looked at by that community as a married couple. Not because they have rings. Not because they went to a church. Not because they have a marriage license.
That's right.
All those traditions are pagan.
That's right.
Up until the Civil War, you did not, that would have not have been the way people even in America would have viewed. That was a completely new doctrine. Even religious people in America were unintroduced into a fornication law up until after the Civil War. Because the fornication law came in because after the Civil War, you had an influx of slaves, so-called blacks, that were released from the plantation. And the white man, the government was afraid, the white government was afraid that these black men would outproduce them because they would start sleeping with, interracially mixing with white women. So they had to figure a way how to stop that or control that, because you can't stop someone from sleeping with somebody, but you can control it. So they figured, well, you know, we can make up a law where you have to come through us You have to have a magistrate or a pastor for you to be considered legally married. Now, we know that's nowhere in the Bible.
That's right. Come on.
But we're going to teach it where you're living in sin if you're sleeping with somebody and you don't have our approval. When in fact, our approval has nothing to do with you being married or being in a union with that person.
Yeah, I want to say something. And actually, the word fornication is really idolatry too. It's not just what the church has been taught.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
biblically, the Israelites did not view the term fornication in the... Now, when the Bible does use the term fornication in the New Testament in a sexual context, it's not talking about premarital sex, because Paul knew that sex was marriage. So what he's saying is fornication is used in the misuse of sex to please the flesh. When fornication is used in a sexual way against sex, it's using sex the wrong way. It's not talking about a certain way or idea of practicing sex. It's saying like you are using sex to just please your own body, and that's sin. You have no commitment or no idea or desire to do anything but sleep with somebody. So
that would be on the level too, Josh, of having too many women. That would be whoremongery. That would be fornication too, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So see, we have to. You got to search the scriptures and search the dictionary and the other books, and you'll find it. That was good, Josh.
So, before, what was I going to say? Oh, going off on a tangent here. So, again, have goals, have purposes, have reasons.
A meaningful relationship. Something that might last, hopefully, right? That will last.
Mm-hmm. Because, again, in a scenario, a lot of times, young men you don't see that where men are the man meets the father anymore, because it's always the young girl, the woman is bringing people home to the father. That is unscriptural. The woman is supposed to be at the home or single, and the man is supposed to seek her out.
Awesome.
Women aren't supposed to seek men out.
Yeah, it's all backwards, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's what religion does. That's destroying. That's putting the cart before the horse.
Mm-hmm. Let's go into 2 Corinthians.
All right, Tony. 2 Corinthians
9.
9. Okay. Would that be fair to say that's part of the tribe of Gad, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. The tribe of Gad. 6th, 7th century they came here, where no men ever dwelt. Okay, 2 Corinthians 9. Chapter 9, Josh. Okay, we got 9. Okay, we're going into 2 Corinthians. If you've been following along with this ministry, we really hit it pretty hard the last year or two, right? On all the epistles. You know, I think we found out, right, Josh? Didn't we find out that there's another 2 or 3 epistles that Paul wrote? Mm-hmm. We're going to get them soon. See, there's missing books that the church won't tell you that are missing. And, you know, we have a lot of them now. We have about 30 missing books. So we're on our way to getting the rest. Okay. 2 Corinthians 9. Where are we going, Josh? The beginning? Okay? Tony, we get a chance. Can you get us more water? Just bring it here and then just pour it here. Thanks, brother. For as touching the ministering to the saints, no, to the Christians, it is superfluous for me to write to you, for I know the frowardness of your mind, for which I boast of you to them of Macedonia, that Ahayah was ready a year ago, and your zeal hath provoked many, very many. Yet have I sent the brethren, get your glass, least our boasting of you should be in vain in this behalf. That, just give me a half a glass, Tony. That, as I said, ye may be ready. Okay? Least happy if they of Macedonia come with me and find you unprepared. We say not, ye, yea, should be ashamed in this same confident boasting. You want to expound or just want me to read?
Read.
Okay. Therefore, I thought it necessary to exhort the brethren that they would go before unto you and make up beforehand your bounty, whereof ye had noticed before, that the same might be ready as a matter of bounty and not as of covetousness. But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully.
So in the context of what this is talking about, Paul is talking about people giving to the church, giving money to the church to take care of the church of Jerusalem. And again, if you read biblically, biblical tithing was when you give money to the apostles and then they take and they redistribute it. They redistribute the money or whatever you give them to the congregation, like in Acts.
That's right.
When they laid the money at the feet of the disciples, and the disciples made redistribution, that all would have one in common.
Right. Awesome. That none would lack and all would have the same. You see, today we see just the opposite. We see pastors asking the church for money, and they're forcing the church to support the pastor who's supposed to have a job, who's supposed to work and support himself. He's never to take any money from a church.
And it's unscriptural for you to support a grown man because he tells you to. That's not in the Bible. You're not supposed to give money to somebody.
And force that lying tithing scheme on them. Because we know for a fact that tithing was only about fruit and produce and milk and grain. It had nothing to do with money. Nothing. Okay. Verse 7, every man according as he prospered in his heart, his mind. So he's saying here, every man according as he prospered, as he's working and doing things in life to have money. If that's all he can give, then you're not supposed to say nothing to him. So let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity. Oh, I gotta go to church today because, you know, my pastor says I got to give, or, you know, I really can't be part of this clique.
For God loves a cheerful giver.
He sure does.
So in other words, Paul is saying, when you do give because you want to give. And don't give because you're being told to give.
Right.
Or that you're cursed, if you know.
Wow.
When
Wait.
Go to Malachi.
Yeah, Malachi. Josh, how many times have we heard that in Christian churches, that you're cursed if you don't tithe? Wow.
Malachi 2:1.
Yeah, I got you.
Then Malachi 3.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite books. That's why I brought the tithing scam. When you get a chance, I don't know if it's on YouTube here or it might be on Google+. Find my message, the tithing scam, about 2 years ago. and you'll be blessed. I really break it down. Micah, Malachi, right? Okay, where? 2, Josh?
2, 1, and 2.
All right, 2, 1, and 2.
Malachi 2, 1.
Okay, ready? And now, O ye priests.
O you who?
Priest.
O you what?
Priest.
So the book of Malachi is written to the Levite priest. Read.
This commandment.
This what?
This commandment.
This law is what?
For you.
Is for you.
If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, say the Most High.
Stop. Now go to Malachi 3.
All right, Malachi 3.
Go to verse verse 5.
All right, Malachi 3, verse 5. Okay. And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that, you know what swearers mean? Telling you lies in the church. Swearers. And against those that oppress the hireling in his wages. The widow.
So he's going to judge people who oppress people in their pay, in their check. They take money from you and they make you work for nothing and they make usury off of you.
That's what they're doing. That's just what they're doing. The hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, say the Most High of Hosts. All right. You want me to keep going? For I am the Most High, I change not.
For I am who?
I am the Most High.
So I am the Most High, or you'll read I am the Lord. The Lord, the term Lord don't belong in the Bible. That was put there.
That's right.
The Most High, he is the Most High, and he does what?
I change not.
No, I change.
I change not.
No, it's I change in the New Testament.
I change not.
I what?
I change not.
Read.
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
Are not what?
Consumed.
Utterly destroyed.
Wow. Even from the days of your fathers. I got this pretty well broken down already. If we're going to keep reading here, Judge. All right. Ye are gone away from mine ordinances.
So the children of Israel, the blacks and Hispanics, have been taught to disobey the laws of the Bible with the Bible.
And have not kept them. Return unto me.
Return unto the Most High.
Come on. And I will return unto you, say the Most High of Hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Now,
remember Malachi 2:1. The book of Malachi is not written to the nation of Israel. The book of Malachi is only written to the Levites, who were considered a nation within a nation because they were not giving
they had the priestly duties.
A heritage or a land. Right. So they dwelt amongst the tribes as a nation.
Oh, I see.
And also, the 12 tribes were considered nations within a nation, or nationalities within nationalities.
Right.
Within a nation.
No, take your time.
Read.
But ye say, wherein shall we return? Okay. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? Oh, well, yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes.
So what happened was,
and offerings. It's not money. Now listen.
Now it could be because sometimes they did bring money, but the purpose here was the Levites were taking the food, the money,
everything,
the oxen, and
they would give it back to you.
They were keeping it to themselves. They weren't taking care of the people.
Right.
They were using the people to support them, to take care of them. They weren't sowing back into the people. They were doing like a preacher do. They were doing what TV preachers do today. They're taking millions of dollars and keeping it and spending it on themselves and not taking care of the people.
That's good, Josh, because he says it. Well, a man robbed God. Then they say, where have we robbed you? Well, we're going to read it. And Josh is right. It's what the church is doing. You go there on Sunday, you give money, and they tell you that you're going to get blessed. And I'm telling you, you know this for a fact. Most of you walked out and you're not blessed.
Read.
Awesome. I like that, Josh. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse.
You have robbed me in tithes and in offerings. In other words, when your brothers and sisters come and give their tithes and their offerings, you're taking that and eating it, Levi. And I didn't tell you to do that. You're rebelling against me.
Wow.
What I told you to do is take care of the children of Israel. Not only sacrifice, teach them. They were perverting the judgments of the Most High. Also, if you read the Malachi 2.
Wow.
So what was happening with the Levites was they were rebelling. Not only they weren't teaching the people properly, they were taking money, taking food, taking livestock.
Come on.
And they were keeping it for themselves. They weren't tending to the people, being righteous shepherds.
Come on, Josh.
Read.
Watch this. Ye are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation.
Which is the nation of Levi, or the tribe of Levi.
Now watch. They had a place where you would bring this stuff. Bring ye all the tithes. Now listen, lying Christian church, because you use this and you twist these words. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse. Your church is storehouse. Your church is not a storehouse. So what happened was the Levites had storehouses, or what they would call barns or granaries. They would put grain. They would put hay. They had stables with cattle they would bring clean animals to be sacrificed. That's right, John.
And again, what was happening is they weren't when you gave an ox for a sacrifice, an oxen or a sheep, the Levite was supposed to have money and give you money back.
Come on.
He was supposed to compensate you for tithing to him.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
But what he was doing was he was keeping the tithe, and he wasn't giving back to you. He wasn't taking care of you. He was expecting you to feed him, and only to feed him.
So who's doing that today?
Without you,
the Christian church.
Without it reciprocating.
Right. And then they have the nerve to call themselves Levites, priests. Priest. No, listen, because I've got a good interpretation of what we're going to read soon. Okay.
Read.
Listen to this. That there may be meat in my house.
Now, it's not wrong to donate.
No,
it's not wrong
not at all.
To donate to a man of God, but if that person has the ability, they're supposed to take care of you back. They're not supposed to eat the money. In other words, they're not supposed to hoard it upon themselves.
That's right.
They're supposed to take care of the people.
That's right.
Read.
Listen. And prove me now.
And
herewith. Prove me.
So prove me when the people bring in the money to the granaries, the oxen, the sheep, the doves, the chickens.
And prove me means also, Josh, that the Most High is speaking here. And he's saying now, do it right. Now prove me. Now show that you're really doing things right for me. All right? Prove me now. Herewith, saith the Most High of hosts. If I will, now watch this, not open you the windows of heaven.
Now, what happens when the windows of heaven open? Rain comes upon the land, and it waters the earth. So grain, barley, grapes, fruit can grow, right?
That's awesome.
Again, remember, this is an agricultural society.
Come on.
That we're talking about, the Israelite.
That's right.
The Israelite society is agricultural, so they depended on the rain, so they could have wheat, barley, food, fruits, vegetables. Read.
Awesome, Josh. That there shall not be room enough to receive it.
So when you would get a bountiful harvest from rain, it would be like you couldn't contain the harvest.
You couldn't fill the storehouse. It was overflowing. They had to build another one. Watch this. And now here's where Christians are lied to. Listen. And I will rebuke the devourer.
So the devourer,
it's not Satan.
In the context of agriculture, was speaking about worms, insects that would come and eat the seeds, the food.
Yeah. So he said, if you do right, I'm going to open the windows. Wait, in Genesis, didn't he open the windows of heaven and everything died? That was insects too. All right, watch. And if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it, and I will rebuke the ground, all right, for your sakes. That's what he's saying. The insects to devour, the snakes, and ye shall not destroy the fruits.
The what?
The fruits.
The money.
The fruits.
The fruits of
your ground.
Of your what?
Ground.
Read.
Now tell me, wait. You see how you're lied to about tithing? Like Josh said, listen, we're not against donating. You're supposed to. But when you're lied to about tithing, you got to be careful. Okay? Okay. Neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, say the Most High of Hosts, because he knew at that time, if that water didn't come, there'd be a dry spell and it would kill.
Drought.
Right.
And they couldn't live.
Right.
Go back to Corinthians.
Corinthians, awesome. So we wanted to throw that out there tonight too, because I don't want you to feel that you have to, just like the man of God you're sitting under, although we know there are many are corrupt, and there are many teaching this false doctrine about giving. Okay? All right, where are we, Josh? 9 what? Where we leave off, Tony?
I think 6.
Okay, I think that sounds right. Hold on.
But this I said.
Right, hold on. Where's
7?
Oh, right, 6. 7, Josh? 7, right. Right. Even every man, according as he prospered in his heart, his mind, so let him give. We read this right. Not grudgingly, as of necessity, for Ahayah loveth a cheerful giver.
Read.
In other words, he loves whatever you have. Ahayah is able to make all grace abound.
Also, now he goes from material to spiritual. So you are to be spiritually fed, which will spiritually make you abound. Read.
Toward you, that you always having all sufficiency
spiritually,
come on, in all things, may abound to every good work
in Christ.
All right, that's good. As it is written, he hath dispersed abroad, he hath given to the poor, his righteousness law remaineth forever. Wow.
So
that's good.
The most important thing you are supposed to sow into someone's life is the scriptures, the laws, and the Most High. So be it.
Wow, that's great. Now, he that ministered seed to the sower.
So, spiritually.
Both minister bread for your food and multiply your seed sown.
So, again, they were taking money for their poor brothers in other churches.
Come on.
So they could eat, so they could live. They weren't collecting money so they could use it upon themselves.
Awesome, Josh.
Read.
For your food and multiply your seed sown and increase the fruits of your righteousness, being enriched in everything to all bountifulness, which causeth though through us thanksgiving to the Most High. For the administration of this service not only applieth the want of the saints, but is abundant also by many thanksgivings unto Ahayah. While by the experiment of this ministration they glorify Ahayah for your professed subjection unto the true word of Yashayah. And for your liberal distribution unto them and unto all men, and by their prayer for you, which long after you for the exceeding grace of Ahayah in you. Thanks be unto the Most High for his unspeakable gift. You see how Paul really never mentions money here? It's always about abounding in grace. It's always about abounding in the work of the Most High. Of course, everybody needs something to live on. But if you're in these ministries, I'm telling you, if you're in these churches where they're telling you that if you don't tithe, you're not blessed, you tell them to take a walk down an alley somewhere, man, because they're lying to you. They're lying to you. We heard that even in the Assemblies of God, right, Josh?
Mhm.
Hey, you're not tithing, you're cursed. Deuteronomy says so. Deuteronomy is about the Hebrews. Has nothing to do about tithing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what's awesome about coming into understanding. You see, because why put pressure on a ministry that doesn't happen? Why do you force your people? You're forcing your people to go out and work 2 or 3 jobs so they can support the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
That's heresy, brother. That's lies, man.
So.
Every man of the Most High is supposed to have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You
So.
want to keep talking? We can talk for a while, Josh. Yes, pretty soon we're going to bring a message on, we bring like an encouraging word sometimes where we just, we always have the word ready. We're not a ministry like that. We always keep the word here. But it's good to encourage, right? It's good to encourage people who are listening, especially our new viewers who are just tuned into us. There's so many things that we want to share, especially these new books we're getting, right? Just show them that. Tony, get that Hebrews, please, right there. You need to get this book. If you're listening tonight and you really want to understand it, you need to get Hebrews to Negroes, because that's just what happened to you, right, Tony? In the church, you became a nigger. Yeah. And that's just what the American government wants to call you. Yeah, it's in the Bible, but that's a byword. All right? You got to get this book.
Hebrews to Negroes.
Hebrews to Negroes. Awesome book. Awesome, awesome book.
So we say shalom.
Shalom.